Welcome back to StarrSoap's channel. StarrSoaps is here in the Taranaki. That's right. And today we're going to be paying tribute to Mount Taranaki again. That's right, just recently I made a tribute to Mount Taranaki soap with the mountain shape in the soap, and they were so popular they all sold out at my last market, so I have to make some more, and I'm going to try and follow the exact same thing again. So wish me luck. Now if you didn't know who I am, my name's Starr, and I'm the Queen Soaper here at StarrSoaps. So without further ado, let's go and make some mountain soap. Squee! Yay! So, what do we do first, guys? Come on, my little soapy stars. You know the answer. That's right. We add the lye water to the oils. And do we do this when they're piping hot? No, we do this once they've cooled. Cooled down to room temperature. So they're not cold, but they're not hot. So I always strain out my lye water. And now I'm going to bring it to a light trace with my trusty stick blender. And I love this old stick blender because it doesn't really go as hard as my new one. And that seems to give me a bit more control over my trace, which I love. So there you go, buy an old stick blender. So I'm going to be mixing up enough soap here to do both the ground and the mountain, and then I'm going to come back and mix up a second lot of soap to do the sky. So I've got 2 jugs here with some mica mixed up into some olive oil. I've got my mocha brown mica and my emerald green mica, and I'm just adding a little bit of soap into each of those jugs because it's only going to be a very small part of the final soap that is actually the green and brown, which represents the base of the mountain, the part that doesn't have any snowfall on it yet. So I'm going to be mixing this all up and trying to get it to a sort of a medium to medium set sort of a trace, if that makes sense. So normally I keep it at a very light trace. I'm going for somewhat more of a heavier trace this time so that I can actually carve out my designs in the final soap. And last time I did this, everything worked out so beautifully that I think I came into this project feeling a little bit confident, maybe even a little bit cocky, I might say. And believe me, this soap made me humble. So this particular fragrance that I'm working with, which is called Star Fruit and Citrus, it's a lovely bright summery note, and I think it's a great fragrance for this soap, but it is notorious for slowing down trace. And I didn't know this. I haven't used it that much, and I haven't used it in soap, I don't think, at all. I'm pretty sure I've used it in bath bombs and in lotion, but I hadn't used it in soap yet. And I didn't know that a fragrance oil could really slow down trace. That was something new to me as well. I've known of many fragrance oils that have thickened up and caused my trace to speed up, but never one to slow it down, and that's what was happening here. So as much as I tried to blend and mix, the soaps were just staying thin and watery. This would be perfect if I was trying to do some wispy little swirl or something, but this is not what I was looking for in this project. So I started this project at about midday, and it took these little jugs about 3 to 4 hours to set to a point where I was happy to finally pour them in the mold, guys. And that gives you a little bit of an idea of the night that I was in for. This soap kept me up all night long. I kept going back and checking. Oh, it was not fun, and I was really frustrated, and I said to my husband, I don't think there's going to be any more mountain soap after this one. But I don't think that's the answer, because they are really, really popular soaps. I think it's just really important to find out information on the fragrances you're going to use, or if you're really that bothered, just don't use any fragrance at all. And an arty soap like this, that's okay, I think. I don't think it's such a big deal if you just left the fragrance out altogether. So that's my little soapy tip of the week for you, is either, if you're going to be doing a crafty soap like this, either leave the fragrance out altogether, or make sure you know what that fragrance does. Make sure you know exactly how it performs. So I'm going to go ahead now and basically spend the next 24 hours making a soap for you guys. But don't worry, I've edited the video down, so it's not even going to take you 20 minutes. Here I have the green and brown together. Finally, add a trace that I was happy to give them a very light in the pot swirl before I could get them into the moulds. Now my moulds are not my regular moulds. These are some wine boxes that I had, and I've just lined one with freezer paper and one with the waxy kind of a paper so that I can get my soap out easily once it has saponified. And I'm going to pour in just a little bit of the soap because, like I say, we're just creating the very bottom layer with this. Now that I'm happy with how those zigzag lines are looking, and I feel like they're going to represent the ridges of the mountain and how the snow falls down around it, I go ahead to pour in my white. And again, please remember what I said at the beginning of the video. This is a very, very slow tracing fragrance. And this has been, like I say, probably about 6 hours into the project now, and the soap was still not ready to go in, but I was ready to be done with the project. So I'm hurrying to get it all in the mould, and I'm praying that it will thicken further in the mould so I can come back and carve out the mountain shape. So it's about 3 a.m. now, and I am so frustrated with the soap I could cry. And I really want you guys to know this, because I just want you to know that even experienced soapers like myself who've been doing it for about 7 years, we still get tripped up. It happens to the best of us, okay, guys? So yeah, I was waiting up all night long with this soap until it finally got thick enough. And as you can see here, it's only just thick enough. I'm still having a real hard time carving out my shape, but I'm just not giving up anymore. I'm just like, no, you will not win, soap. So I go ahead with my tool and I just repeatedly scoop and carve and scoop and carve, and I've sped this up for you. This was going on for about an hour. It was so annoying. And then of course when I went to mix up the sky, it did the same thing, and it was so watery, and I stick blended, and for the life of me I could not get it to come to like a thick trace like pudding. So I just poured it in as well, and you're gonna see how that goes. Stay tuned. So here I am pouring in the sky, and as you can see, it broke the mountain. The sky has broken the mountain. No! And as you can imagine, after waiting so many hours to get it thick enough to carve the mountain shape out, I was pretty devastated that I did that. So when I go to pour the second loaf, I move things around and I try to pour much more carefully and much more slowly. And if I had my jug that has a spout on it, I would have found this a lot easier. Part of the problem, I think, was that I'd run out of soapy dishes and I was pouring it from that bowl. But hey, I persevered and I got this wonderful end result. Here we are the following night, and I've taken the soaps out of the wine boxes, and now I'm just peeling away that freezer paper. If you're going to do this, you really do need a very heavy, dense wax paper or freezer paper. You can't just use regular baking paper. I've tried it. It's too sort of thin and flimsy, and it just doesn't cut it. You do need something a little bit more heavy duty. And this is really good stuff. Look at that mountain. It's a little bit janky, and once I get my wire cutter on the job, they're going to look much better. But these big long logs won't fit into my wire cutter, so I just had to go ahead and cut them in half with the knife first. A quick clean up of my workspace, and I'll bring in my little wire cutter and start cutting the bars. Here we have a beautiful bar of Mount Taranaki soap, and again, this is Mount Taranaki as you see it from where I live, Stratford. So you can see Mount Taranaki from a lot of different towns and cities around Taranaki. You can see it from New Plymouth, and you can see it from Hawera, but whenever you look at it from those angles, you just see the mountain peak, and that's why a lot of people say it looks like Mount Fuji. However, if you look at it from where I am in Stratford, you can see the second littler peak, and that of course makes it look very different to Mount Fuji, and it's kind of special to us Stratfordites. We like to, think we're a bit special like everyone does, and so I think this is a really good tribute to that, except for these bars that didn't quite work because, hey, the sky broke the mountain. So what I ended up with here was probably about 8 bars of soap that looked like they could be a mountain, but not necessarily our mountain. But that's okay too. I'll just label them mountainscape scene soaps. And the other ones will be Mount Taranaki soaps, and that's fine. Oh, You've just got to keep a positive attitude with this soap making business. Don't let it beat you. Well, that concludes the cutting. These bars that I'm not bothering to show you have all got kind of odd shaped mountains in them, like I said before, but they're still alright. And here we are in the beautiful sunlight of the next day, and you can see I've lined up my best bars in the front for you guys. Some of them really did turn out awesome despite all of the little problems and hiccups that I hit, so I'm pretty happy with that. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me make this mountain soap. I can't say I really enjoyed doing it, but I can say the final outcome felt pretty good. I really did feel like I won at the end of the day. Well, if you like this video, you think I'm a bit of a dag and you'd like to hang around, maybe see some more videos like this, maybe watch some of the 300 plus that have already been uploaded to the channel, then you could subscribe. You know, if you felt like it. Just hit that subscribe button. It's down below. And then you'll become a member of our StarrSoaps family and be showered with soapy love. Alright guys, until next week, I'll see y'all later. Bye!